Hey guys, it's Miss CL here to do 6.2 with you guys, so let's get started with your learning target. After this lesson, I will be able to simplify expressions using the order of operations, aka PEMDAS.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
All right, let's start with your think about it. Antoine, Rosa, and Michelle are having a debate about how to evaluate an expression. Analyze their work and settle the debate by explaining 1. Who solved correctly? And 2. How do you know that they solved correctly? So I want you to go ahead and pause the video, and then we'll come back together and work it out. All right, guys, I hope you paused the video. Let's go ahead and work through. We're gonna start with Antoine's work, and we're gonna see who worked through this expression correctly. Remember, we're following the order of PEMDAS. Okay, I actually prefer to write PEMDAS up and down or vertically. And the reason I like to do this is because it's important to note that multiplication and division are done in order from left to right, and addition and subtraction are also done in order from left to right. So let's start with Antoine. Okay, he's got our original expression written correctly. Okay, so the first step, if we're following PEMDAS, should be, well, yes, we do have parentheses. So once we're inside parentheses, PEMDAS kind of starts all over. So do we have any exponents inside? No. We have this one on the outside, but that applies to the whole set of parentheses. So we would we have addition and subtraction here. So again, addition and subtraction are done in order from left to right. So we should be doing 11 minus 5 first and getting 6. But if you notice, he doesn't do that first. Antoine actually does the 5 plus 4 first and gets 9. So Antoine is already incorrect. And his mistake was he added 5 plus 4 first. He should have subtracted 11 minus 5. Okay, let's look at Rosa. So again, we talked about 11 minus 5 being the first problem that should be done. And if we look at that, she does that correctly, which is 6. Okay, now we solve that addition problem. 6 plus 4 is 10. Now that we have the value of the parentheses is when we apply the exponent. So we've solved everything inside of the parentheses, and now is the time we put that exponent to use. So 10 to the power of 2. Remember, 10 to the power of 2 is the same thing as 10 times 10, which is 100. So she did do that correctly. She gets 100 here. Then the next step, well, we would have no more parentheses, and we would have to move on to exponent. So exponent, yes, we do have an exponent. That would be here, 3 to the power of 2. We know that 3 to the power of 2 is the same thing as 3 times 3, okay, which we know is 9. Okay, so it looks like she solves that correctly. That would leave one last step. We have to solve 100 minus 9, which does equal 91. So right now, it looks like Rosa is the one who's correct. But we better check Michelle's work as well, just to make sure. So Michelle also starts with 11 minus 5 and gets the 6. So she's on the right track. Okay, then it looks like her change here is the 16. How can we get 16 from what she's got here? If you look, it looks like she's applying her exponent too soon. She's applying the exponent to that 4 when she should be waiting for the answer to be solved inside that parentheses. So she got 4 to the power of 2. 4 to the power of 2 is the same thing as 4 times 4, which is 16, but she incorrectly applied that exponent. You need to solve parentheses inside parentheses. Then apply exponent. And she again applied it way too soon. So it looks like Rosa is correct. And I know this because she used the order of operations correctly. Okay, I'm not going to write anything else since we kind of explained why everyone else was incorrect.
So we're going to go ahead and move on.
All right, key point. See if you guys can figure it out real quick. Go ahead and pause it. All right, come back. Let's see. The order of operations is the set order that we use to evaluate expressions with more than one operation. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with the interaction to new material. So it says we have to evaluate this expression. So evaluate, what does that mean? Well, we know evaluate means to find the value of. So basically, they're just asking us to solve this expression.
Okay.
If you notice, we do have multiple operations here.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. An exponent counts as an operation. 5, and another exponent. So if we look here, we have 6 operations in this one expression. So I'm going to delete these so that it's clear and we can see, but I just wanted to point that out.
So again, I'm going to help get my cheat sheet over here ready for me to help remind myself of the order and the importance at the additions and subtraction step, as well as the multiplication and division step. All right, so let's get started. P, parentheses. Well, if you notice, we don't only have parentheses, but we have what's called brackets. And when you have brackets and parentheses, what you do is you work from the inside out. So we have to start within the inner parentheses, and then we follow PEMDAS within inside of that. So we don't have any exponents inside. We don't have multiplication or division, but we do have addition and subtraction. And again, addition and subtraction are done in order from left to right. So we start with the 12 minus 11 first. Notice I'm underlining the step that I'm working on. It's super important so we can keep track of our work and know what's going on. So let's go ahead and solve. 12 minus 11 is 1. So I make one change, and then I'm going to go ahead and copy everything else down. I think I'm going to change colors as I go with each step. All right, so we'll start with blue. So we said we're going to do 12 minus 11 leaves us with 1. So I make my one change, and then I'm going to go ahead and copy everything else down, including those brackets and parentheses. See, I almost forgot my parentheses there. All right, now we have to work on that addition problem inside the parentheses. 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. That's our one change, and we copy everything else down. Now that we're down to one number within inside of those parentheses, I'm going to go ahead and take them away and just apply our exponent now.
That's my one change, and then I bring everything else down. Okay.
Almost forgot my bracket again. It's very important not to forget those. All right, so we've finished with the parentheses within the bracket, so now we can work with what's left inside the bracket. Again, when you're working inside of parentheses or brackets, PEMDAS starts all over. So there's no more sets of parentheses inside, so we move to exponents. 3 to the power of 2.
3 to the power of 2 is the same thing as 3 times 3, which we know is 9. So my one change, make my brackets, bring everything else down. Bracket.
Okay, I'm left with a subtraction problem inside. So let's solve that. We have 14.5 minus 9. That leaves us with an answer of 5.5.
My one change that I made, and I copied everything else down. Okay?
So now we've done our parentheses. All of that has been taken care of. Now we have to see, do we have any more exponents that we have to look out for? And if you notice we do, we have 5 to the power of 2.
5 to the power of 2 is the same thing as 5 times 5, which is 25. So that's my one change, and I copy everything else down. Okay?
Almost there, guys. Underline the last section here. If you notice, we don't have any more exponents. We do have a multiplication problem left, and then that's it, and we've solved it all. So 25 times 5.5 gives us an answer of 137.5. And I'm going to quickly show you how I work that out here on this side. So we've got 25 times 5.5 Okay, notice that I'm lining up my digits all the way to the right of the problem.
Okay, and then let's start multiplying. So we have 5 times 5 is 25, carry my 2, 5 times 2 is 10, plus my 2 is 12. Okay, now I'm in the tens position, so I need a placeholder. 5 times 5 is 25, again I'm carrying a 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus my 2 is 12. Let's add these up. 5, 7, 3, and 1. And if you notice, we have a 1 number behind our decimal, so that means we need to have a 1 number behind our decimal in our answer as well. So that's how we got 137.5.
Okay, now I'm okay with you using a calculator for this because we're not really focusing on the skill of multiplying decimals or reviewing operations of decimals. We're focusing on the skill of order of operations. So I'm okay if you want to use a calculator here.
Oh, before we move on, remember we counted out those 6 operations? Check this out. Look at how many lines we used for our work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even though it's super tempting to get ahead of ourselves and do more than one operation at one time, if you do 1 line per operation and you count your operations beforehand, it's going to help you stay a lot more organized.
All right, guys, let's move on to example 2. Okay, it says 4 scholars were asked to evaluate the following expression. Who responded correctly? Show your work. All right, let's go ahead and copy it down for ourselves. So again, we have brackets and parentheses inside. Okay, I'm going to write my PEMDAS cheat sheet out here. And let's get started. So again, we have parentheses and brackets. So we remember we have to work from the inside out. Okay, so that means we're going to start within the parentheses first. And then PEMDAS kind of starts all over. So we have to work with our exponent first. So 2 to the power of 3 is the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2.
We know that 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 to the power of 3 is the same thing as 8. I make my one change, and I bring everything else down. Okay?
No more multiplication or division. All we have is addition and subtraction within these parentheses. So we do those in order from left to right. So we start with 8 minus 2.
8 minus 2 we know is 6. It's my one change, and I'm bringing everything else down with me. Okay?
All right, almost done within those parentheses, guys. And then we can move on. We just have to solve 6 plus 6, which we know is 12.
It's my one change, and we move on.
Again, since I'm down to one number here, I take my parentheses around that 6 plus 6 away. All right, we still are inside parentheses, at least our brackets at least. So we've got to solve that multiplication inside first before we can even move to that multiplication. Or I'm sorry, to that exponent.
I need to change colors.
All right, so we have to do 12 times 2. 12 times 2 we know is 24.
Which is my one change, and then I bring down that exponent.
I'm left with only one number within that bracket, so I'm allowed to take those brackets away. And now I'm left with my 24 to the power of 2.
24 to the power of 2, we know is 24 times 24. And 24 times 24 is 576.
576 is our correct answer after solving this expression. So we had to see who responded correctly. All right, so let's go look at those answer choices. We have Alex, who got a score of 0. Well, we know that's incorrect. Amy, not a score, but an answer. Amy's answer was 400. Again, not correct. Corey said 576. It looks like Corey's the one who got it right. Double check Kenneth. He said 48. That's incorrect. All right, guys. See, not too bad. What I advise is that you make sure that you create your cheat sheet. I should have been better at checking off as I go, but I want you to do that. So as soon as you finish all of your exponents, you mark it out. As soon as you've done all the multiplication and division, you mark it out. I do want to review one thing if we'll look at page 4 real quick. Okay, we have a mixture of fractions and decimals. So I left you a reminder here of how to convert fractions to decimals. Okay, there's 4 steps, and I gave you a quick example here, so let's do it with example that I gave you. We have 1/2. It says flip the fraction to the right, so if you notice I flipped it. Okay, we have 2 on the outside, 1 on the inside. I build my little house. Okay, that means step 1 is done. Step 2, add a decimal after our dividend, which is the number inside the house. So we added that 0. And then step 2 is done. Step 3 says to raise the roof. So that's what they did. They raised the roof to the top of the house and finally divide like normal. Okay, so 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 minus 10 is 0. So at the end, we have 1/2 equals 0.5 as a decimal. So you'll probably need that for problem 2A and 2B. So I just thought I'd give you that fresh reminder and leave you that list of steps. All right, guys, I hope I see you soon. We'll talk to you later. Good luck.